Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 3 quick ways to raise your credit score really fast. All right, depending on, what introduction you may have known or gotten for credit or to understand credit as a kid, you may be like several millions and millions of people who really F their credit up. As a kid, I never really understood credit cards or had anybody tell me or explain, this is how credit works. If you get a credit card, this is what's expected of you. Nobody told me anything. So when I got to college and was offered a free Subway sandwich, I was a starving college kid. Yes, where do I sign for a Discover card? Who even has a Discover? Do you have a Discover credit card? Nobody has a Discover credit card, but I signed up for a free Subway sandwich, I think a t-shirt, which was stupid because I didn't even care about a Discover t-shirt, but I signed up for a t-shirt and a free Subway sandwich, and I got a credit card at 18 years old, fresh out of high school, freshman year of college, no job. And I think I might have been given like $1,000 limit, which is crazy to a kid who's hungry with no job. And I remember saying, I knew I had to pay the money back, but I didn't really pay attention to the interest rate or whatever. I didn't know how I was going to pay the money back. My grandfather would send me $60 a month, and that was like my food money, my hair money, and everything that I needed to do to survive until I got a job and started working. But I charged a train ticket from DC to North Carolina. I was going down there for Thanksgiving. It was just a one-way ticket. And quickly, I charged some shoes, and I remember charging like some clothes, and it maxed out. And I had no way of paying it back. So I didn't pay it back. So what happens to your credit score when you don't pay things back? It gets effed up and it lowers and lowers, and then nobody will want to give you a credit card. Nobody will want to give you a loan, or if you can get a loan, the interest is ridiculously high. So you're in an effed up situation. I've never seen anybody with a higher credit score than my grandfather. My grandfather had a perfect credit score, which I believe is like 850. Crazy. He had that score, so he could go get anything he wanted. And like I always say, cash is king. So if cash is king, then credit is queen. So it's really important that you get your scores up, especially today and this day and age with the economy all over the place the way that it is. There's some really low interest rates that you can get if you're trying to refinance, if you're trying to buy a home, if you're trying to buy a car. So we all know why it's important to get your credit score up. So I'm going to give you 3 top ways in order to raise it. If you were like me, didn't really understand credit and effed it up at a time when you were younger or even older, and you want to get it back on the right track. So number one thing that you can do is become an authorized user. So if you know someone, usually it's your grandparents or your great uncle or aunt or somebody who just has perfect credit or a much higher credit score than you, ask them if you can become an authorized user. Now, not to get a card, because they may not trust you enough to give you the card to the account, but if they make you an authorized user, as they pay and make charges and pay it off, then it will boost your score. So you don't even have to have the card. You can just become an authorized user on their card, and they can take you off later. You don't have to stay on, but you can instantly get a boost of about 30 to 60 points just by becoming an authorized user. Now, don't get on somebody's account who can't pay their bills and who's maxed out their credit cards, because that is not going to help you. So you want to make sure that the person that you choose and who chooses you to become an authorized user on their account is financially responsible, pays your bills on time, doesn't have maxed out credit cards, and that they trust you, because this is something that you're going to be doing. And if you don't have the card, you can't make any financial purchases. So it'll help you and boost you. The second thing, if you do have a credit card that has a 0 balance or a really low balance, I recommend putting all of your reoccurring bills onto that card. And what are your recurring bills, or what are recurring expenses that you pay for. So your cell phone bill, that's a bill that reoccurs. It comes every month. Your internet bill or your light bill or your gas or your groceries, anything that you would normally pay cash for or use your debit card to pay for, I say put it on the credit card and pay it right off. Don't wait until the bill comes. Don't wait until the due date. If you want to be, fancy, you can wait a couple days, but then send the money in that you would have normally paid cash for. So if your cell phone bill is $100 and you put it on your credit card, send $100 to your credit card. That's a quick way to boost your score as well. So anything that you charge, just send the money right in. And credit cards close out. They have a cycle date and they have a due date. If you pay it before the cycle date, then you won't incur any interest charges. If you wait to that due date, then you're going to pay some interest. So the key is to not carry a balance on the card. You want to make sure that it's 30% that you want to keep on there of the balance. But in all cases, if you can, a zero balance is better, like that you owe nothing. So anything that you charge, you pay it right off. The third tip to raise your score is call in if you have a credit card and you've been paying. Call your creditor, Capital One, American Express, wherever they are, and ask them to increase your spending limit. So let's say, they gave you a balance of $1,000. Normally with repetitive good standing and you pay your bill on time, they'll raise your credit limit over time. But call in if they haven't done it in a couple months or you just want to see if you can get a credit boost. Now they are going to run your credit when they do that. It's a soft inquiry, so it really won't affect your score, but it will boost it and help. So call in, ask them if they can raise your credit limit. They'll ask you what your income is and they'll increase your credit limit. And when you have greater limit that you can spend, but you have a lower spend on it where you're not spending that much, you will automatically have your score raised. So those are the 3 top ways that you can raise your score really, really quickly. Pay yourself on time, pay it early, keep a zero balance, become an authorized user, and call in to see if you can get that credit increase. Let me know if you have any questions or any fancy ways you've learned to boost your score. I'm reaching for that 850 like my grandfather had. I'm on my way. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them below. And of course, like, subscribe, comment, follow me so you don't miss out.